Okay, well, speaking of block puzzles, I played the Capcom Zelda game. One of three.
Mm.
This one is technically one of two. They go hand in hand, but it's, in my opinion, the better of the two. It's Oracle of Ages for the Game Boy Color.
Woohoo.
Childhood classic. Played this a lot growing up. I think I finished it twice in my life. Played it a lot of yesterday. I was at the car dealership, and this lady's like screaming at this guy over failing her inspection. I was just sitting there with my headphones, like, not paying attention. Because I'm playing a game I love. I'm not dealing with that, and my car passed. So, Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons are Capcom's take on the Zelda games. I don't know why Nintendo gave them the rights to do it, but it was one of the most beautiful things they ever did. And it's the same concept. Link is kind of going on his own path, and he's kind of just waddling around, and all of a sudden, the Oracle of Ages Nehru is intercepted by Varen, this kind of evil spirit. She takes over Impa's body and manipulates Link into pushing this Triforce block so she can go take over her body. She's at the real, so you can't like attack her. But she like takes over the body and then she starts causing havoc. As the Oracle of Ages, Nehru can manipulate time, so you start in the present, but she goes back in time, fucks shit up, and one of the first cutscenes you see is like everything in the town. I forget the name of it. It's got a weird name. Um, but you can see like a group of monkeys disappear. You can see this couple on the beach, and she turns the boy into an old man, and the girl shrieks and runs away. Your job as Link to get the 8 essences to stop Varen. And there's a lot of cool mechanics, a lot of cool items, a lot of great dungeons in this game, and a lot of great overworld exploration. This came out after Link's Awakening, which was the first Game Boy uh, Zelda game. So it feels similar in terms of like the map and the scope. I think it just feels more competent on almost every level. A narrative concept. Although you could argue Link's Awakening is cool in its own right on that front. I think that the dungeons are a really cognitive experience, as is the overworld exploration. There's a lot of thinking about now that I got this item, where can I go on the map? Whether it's the bracelet, whether it's the Zora flippers, whether it's the seed shooter. I made it to Dungeon 4 yesterday, and a couple points I was really scratching my head. This one has some cool animal buddies, and you have to like they get queued on the map after you've completed certain things or like certain actions. Like Ralph, this guy, he follows you back and forth in time, trying to save Varen. He doesn't want you to be the hero, and I just like that the game kind of keeps you thinking. It's not kind of like a hack and slash or just like a random just exploration game. I prefer linear Zelda. This is very linear. This very much follows a pattern of what you're supposed to do and where you're supposed to go. That could be frustrating for some people. I would understand that. I just think that the game has a lot of personality, even within the dungeons. The combat is pretty solid. I like how every dungeon, there's 8, has a mid boss and a final boss, and they're no slouches. That first boss is like a pyro guy with like a pumpkin on his head, um, and he drops the pumpkin, and like, that's when you attack him. Versus like I think in Link's Awakening, it's literally just like the Nickelodeon face. Uh, I think there's a couple things that maybe haven't aged as great. One of them is the inventory system because it was made for the Game Boy Color. It's A and B are really your only inputs, but Zelda is an item game, and so you're constantly switching between items. It's not such a problem right now, but I know going forward there are boss encounters that will require like a triple switch, like a pea shooter, the sword, and then like the bracelet, like just as an example. So I think it would benefit from a remake in that regard. And it's really cool too because this game and Oracle of Seasons have 3 unique games within each. So there's technically 6 different adventures that you could play. I would like to do that eventually. I didn't have time to do it for this episode, but I've done. I think I did the path of like because once you beat the game, you get a password and you can input it in the alternative game. beat Oracle of Ages, and it's called. There's an option in the menu called Secrets, and you put the secret code in, and you can start like the second game of Oracle of Seasons. It's difficult if you're trying to do like them all like Oracle 1, 2, 3. You can't really do that unless you play Oracle Seasons next. But I'm sure you can always just find codes and make it work that way. Great game, a lot of personality, music, characters, a trade sequence, and great dungeons. Yeah, it's a timeless Zelda game. It's one of my favorites.
If they were to remake this game, how would you want to see it done?
2D HD. No, I'm joking. I just said that to piss you off.
Wait, why? That's awesome. What's wrong?
That's how you guarantee how I'm not going to buy it, because all these fucking games are just 2D HD.
They look great.
They look like
I don't want cheapy
they look like
Awakening
They
style,
look like
pixel
pixel diarrhea. That's what it looks like.
Oh, I disagree.
Yeah, but, like,
I
I
hard
don't know.
disagree with you on that.
I don't like the way they look. They look gross to me.
Put it this way, I don't want the Link's Awakening treatment as
Why?
far as visuals.
Why?
I don't know. I don't think it's that like I think that style loses some of the tone. Tone of the game. That would suit Link's Awakening, although I think it's too colorful maybe. I don't think Oracle is meant to be kind of like a charming
That's fun. Okay.
game.
That makes sense, because I guess because Link Awakening is more like goofy. It has like chain chomps and Goombas and shit. So I guess like that goofy style works for Link's Awakening. I get it there.
We'll say that Capcom did a couple creative takes. Like, so the second boss is like this 4-pronged thwomp. It's not like identical. Then there's like other enemies in the game that are like Aragoombas, the flying ones, but they don't look exactly like they look like Capcom versions. So I mean, there is some like goofiness there, but I think overall it is a darker game. Ooh, I like it more.
You'll be happy.
But yeah, so visual style, I didn't exactly answer that. I don't know, but I do want it to reflect. I want it to be simple. I do still want it to be 2D overhead. But yeah, I think it should reflect that darker tone and still be like accessible.
What do you think of like Octopath Traveler or something like that? That kind of graphics.
Well, that's
no,
HD.
I don't know.
2D HD. Apparently, Alex hates it. You know, everybody else in the world loves it.
I will say I haven't played.
They all look the same, Spencer.
remake, but I don't know how it handles this. But the game is built in squares. Every time you move a square over, it is like very much like a grid. There's not like the map doesn't move with you. So I would be okay with like them removing that kind of grid look as when you're not looking at the map. I would still want it for the map.
You would want to
at
keep
least
that?
For there to be on the map, like the pull up map, so you can see where your square is moving.
Oh, okay.
You can see what ground you've covered and which ones you haven't, because that is very much a part of the progression. Is like, I haven't been here, this part of the Northwest where like this town is that was recommended to me. I think that's important. I would not want to keep that for the overworld exploration.
Gotcha.
You know, in any other world, I would say they're never going to remake it because Capcom made it and Nintendo's stubborn. But with the advent of the Mario RPG remake, which was by Square, maybe, you know, seems like they're kind of dipping their toes into that territory now. Who knows?
Is this game on one of the games on the Switch Online thing?
Oh, that's a good question.
I haven't checked, but I am looking for another way to play it because honestly, I mean, I have it on 3DS, which, you can't access now.
You can get it from DK Oldies for $80 if you just want to buy it.
Okay.
No.
DK Oldies Donkey Kong month. Nah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what the best way to really play it is. I'd say access it any way you can.
Well, I was gonna say you'll be happy. You know, I literally while you were talking about it, just downloaded it. It will be on my Steam Deck tonight.
Yeah, I don't think it's well. I haven't. My subscription ran out, but when I had the Game Boy thing, I don't think it was on there. I think Link's Awakening was, but
correct. Link's Awakening
is
Oracles are not.
It says it's. Or they announced it. It's going to be added in the future. Yeah, it's one of the games.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Kirby Tilt and Tumble.
Fuck yeah! Map out coming soon.
Yes.
Tilt and tumble month.
Let's wait for the lineup. It's gonna make you tumble.
What? Okay, so what makes you choose this game over Seasons?
I think that I haven't referred to a guide this whole time, and I think I remember in Seasons that. Okay, yeah, I did not really discuss the time mechanics. So you get this like harp thing. I forget exactly what it's called. It's like lyre or something.
Magic Harp.
That's a magic harp. The magic harp. But that one lets you just teleport between past and present. And in the beginning of the game, there's certain landmarks that you have to do it on. You can't just do it anywhere. But later, you actually get an enhancement to the tune that lets you just teleport in any space on the map. And there's very specific places you have to use it. I think it's really straightforward. And whereas with Seasons, you use a rod that alternates between the 4 seasons. And so it's almost too complicated as far as the overworld exploration goes. Because you have to think about 4 parallel timelines and how each season affects them in order to explore. I just think that part is too complicated doing the overworld exploration. Like, I do like linear Zelda, but that might be too much of a puzzle. That's why I was able to play through Oracle of Ages more easily. Say I couldn't do Oracle of Seasons, but I have tried, and I've gotten stuck at after the 7th dungeon.
So
I don't want to have to use a guide for a freaking 2D Game Boy Zelda.
Musical instrument. It's a musical instrument that takes you through time in a linear Zelda. I think I'm seeing a pattern here.
Majora's Mask.
No way, I lost it. Sorry. Fuck.
Yeah. C.D. Phillips. Screwdriver.
Yes.
David Phillip.
There's the balls. Alex, have some balls.
Balls in my court, as they say.
Hey y'all, don't forget to subscribe to them button mappers.